Good morning, students. We are in fourth unit. Almost this is the last topic for fourth unit. Our topic is flood routing. But regarding flood routing, hydrologic routing, channel and reservoir routing, and masking and pulse methods of routing. These topics are we are going to discuss. Guys, here the introduction. Introduction means, guys, here a flood is an unusually high stage in a river. Normally, the level at which the river overflows its banks and inundates the adjoining area. The damages caused by floods in terms of loss of life, property, and economic loss due to disruption of economic activity are very high. Flood peak values are required in the design bridges, culvert, waterways, spillways for dams, and estimation of score at a hydraulic structure. At a given location in a stream, flood peaks vary from year to year and their magnitude constitutes a hydrologic series. To estimate the magnitude of a flood peak, the following methods are adopted. Rational method, empirical equations, flood frequency studies, and unit hydrograph techniques. But flood routing means here, guys, the flood hydrograph is in fact a wave. The flood hydrograph is in fact of a wave. The stage on the discharge hydrograph represents the passage of waves of stream depth and discharge respectively. As this wave moves down, the shape of the wave gets modified due to channel storage, resistance, lateral addition, or withdrawal of flows, etc. When a flood wave passes through a reservoir, its peak is attended and the time base is enlarged due to effect of storage. The reduction in the peak of the outflow hydrograph due to storage effects is called attenuation. Further, the peak of outflow occurs after the peak of the inflow. The time difference between the peaks of inflow and outflow hydrographs is known as log. Modification in the hydrograph is studied through flood routing. Flood routing is the technique of determining the flood hydrograph at a section of a river by utilizing the data of a flood flow at one or more upstream sections. Here, guys, this is the discharge. This is the discharge here. Delta, this is the attenuation. This is the log. Here, this is the dotted line is the attenuation. This is the delta S. This is the discharge versus time. Here, accumulator storage, yes, accumulation of storage. Here, release from storage. Basic equation for hydraulic routing. Guys, here hydraulic, yeah. Now we are discussing flood routing. Here we going to discuss hydraulic routing. The passage of a flood hydrograph through a reservoir or a channel reach is a gradually varied, unsteady flow. If we consider some hydrologic systems with input T, output T, and storage ST, then the equation of continuity in hydrologic routing methods is the following: dt ds. So I is equal to 0. That is equal, if the inflow hydrograph it is known, this equation cannot be solved directly to obtain the outflow hydrograph because both O and S are unknown. A second relation, the storage function is needed to release S, I and Q. The particular form of the storage equation depends on the system, a reservoir or a river beach. But routing methods. Routing methods are here: modified plus kinematic wave and Muskingum conjugate and dynamic. Modified pulse. The modified pulse routing method is probably most often applied to reservoir routing. The method may also be applied to river routing for certain channel situations. The modified pulse method is also referred to as the storage indication method. The heart of the modified pulse equation is found by considering the finite difference from the continuity equation. Modified pulse I1 plus I2 by 2 minus O1 plus O2 by 2 is equal S2 minus S1 by delta T. This is the continuity equation. I1 plus I2 plus 2S1 2ST by delta T minus OT is equal 2S2 by delta T plus O2. This is the written. The solution to the modified plus method is accomplished by developing a graph or table of O versus 2S by delta T plus 4. In order to do this, a stage discharge storage relationship must be known, assumed, or derived. Kinematic wave. Kinematic wave channel routing is probably the most basic form of hydraulic routing. This method combines the continuity equation with a very simplified form of the Saint Vincent equations. Kinematic wave routing assumes that the friction slope is equal to the bed slope. Additionally, the kinematic wave form of the momentum equation assumes a simple stage discharge relationship. And Muskingum nodes. The method assumes a single stage discharge relationship. In other words, for any given discharge Q, there can be only one stage height. This assumption may not be entirely valid for certain flow situations. For instance, the friction slope on the rising side of hydrograph for a given flow Q may be quite different than for the recession side of the hydrograph for the same given flow Q. This causes an effect known as hysteresis, which can introduce errors into the storage assumptions of this method. Muskingum Kunj formulation is similar to the Muskingum type formulation. The Muskingum-Kunj derivation begins with the continuity equation and includes the diffusion from of the momentum equation. These equations are combined and liner and linearized Muskingum-Kunj working equation. Dou q by dou t plus dou q by dou x is equal to mu into dou square q by dou x square plus cq lat, where q is equal to discharge, t is equal to time, X is equal to distance along channel, Qx is equal to lateral inflow, C is equal to wave celerity, M is equal hydraulic diffusivity. Full dynamic wave equations. The solution of the Saint-Venant equation is known as dynamic routing. Dynamic routing is generally the standard to which other methods are measured or compared. The solution of the Saint-Venant equation is generally accomplished via one of two methods: the method of characteristics and the direct methods, implicit and explicit. It may be fair to say that regardless of the method of solution, a computer is absolutely necessary as the solutions are quite time consuming. J.J. Stoker 1953-1957 is generally credited for initially attempting to solve the Saint-Venant equations using a high-speed computer. And guys, and another one more is there, that is the channel and reservoir routing. Guys, here flood routing through reservoir channels. So already we discussed what is routing, and again here I will explain. Routing is the process of prediction, temporal and spatial variation of a flood wave as it travels through a river or channel, reach or reservoir. This is called a routing. Two types of routing: hydrologic routing and hydraulic routing. Hydrologic routing, lumped or hydrologic flow is calculated as a function of time alone at a particular location, governed by continuity equation and flow storage relationship. Hydraulic routing means distributed or hydraulic flow is calculated as a function of space and time throughout the system, governed by continuity and momentum equations. What is flood routing? Flood routing procedure to compute output hydrograph when input hydrograph and physical dimensions of the storage are known is called a flood routing. What is a reservoir? A reservoir usually means an enlarged natural or artificial lake or storage pond or impoundment created using a dam or a lock to store water is called the reservoir. Types of reservoirs: storage or conservation reservoir, flood control reservoir, multi-purpose reservoir, distribution reservoir. What is reservoir routing? Reservoir routing means used to determine the peak flow attenuation that a hydrograph undergoes as it enters a reservoir or other type of storage pool is called the reservoir routing. and methods for flood routing through reservoir. And the pulse method already explained, but this is also a different equation. This is also useful to you. So the pulse method for inflow storage discharge method is the modified pulses routing method is probably most often applied to reservoir routing. The method may also be applied to river routing for certain channel situations. The modified pulse method is also referred to as the storage indication method. The heart of the modified pulse equation is found by considering the finite difference form of the continuity equation. Pulse method or inflow storage discharge method I1 plus I2 by 2 minus O1 plus O2 by 2 minus S2 minus S1 by delta T. This is the continuity equation. I1 plus I2 plus 2S1 delta T minus O1 is equal to 2S2 by delta T plus O2 rewritten. The solution is to modified pulse method is accomplished by developing a graph or a table of O versus 2S by delta T plus O. In order to do this, a stage discharge storage relationship must be known, assumed or derived. Modified pulse example. Given the following hydrograph and the 2s by delta T plus O curve, find the outflow hydrograph for the reservoir assuming it to be completely full at the beginning of the storm. The following hydrograph is given. Hydrograph for modified pulse example, discharge CFS and time hours. So modified pulses example, the following 2s by delta T plus observed curve is also given. 2s by delta T plus O curve for modified pulse example. Outflow CFS on the x-axis, 2s by delta T plus O CFS is on the y-axis. Modified pulse example, a table may be created as follows. Time hours 0 to 12 hours, IN CFS, IN plus IN plus 1 CFS, 2SN by T minus ON sin CFS, 2SN by T plus ON plus 1 CFS, ON plus 1 CFS. This is the table created by modified pulse example. Modified pulse example next. Using the hydrograph and interpolation, insert the inflow discharge values. For example, at 1 hour, the inflow is 30 CFS. So hydrograph for modified pulse example time here 1 hour 30, 2 hours 60, in 3 hours 90, 4 hours 120, 5 hour 150, 6 hour 180, 7th hour 135, 8 hour 90, 9th hour 45. So modified pulse example, the next step is to add the inflow to the inflow in the next time step. For the first blank, the inflow at 0 is added to the inflow at 1 hour to obtain a value of 30. The time hours 0 to 12, INCFS 0, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, and 7th hour 135, 8th hour 90, 9th hour 45, 10, 11, 12 is the 0. IN plus 1 CFS 30, 2SN by T minus ON in CFS, 2SN by T plus ON plus 1 CFS, ON plus 1 CFS. So this is then repeated for the rest of the values in the column. So 30, 90, 60 to 150, 90 to 210, 120 to 270, fifth hour 150 to 330, 180 and 315, 135, 225, 90, 135, 45, 45. So then the 2Sn by delta t plus On plus 1 column 1 can then be calculated using the following equation. I1 plus I2 plus 2S1 by delta t minus O1 is equal to S2 by delta t plus O2. Note that 2Sn by delta t and On plus 1 are set to 0. Time. Note that 2Sn by delta t minus On and On plus 1 are set to 0. Here time hours 0, CFS 0, In plus In plus 1 30, here 0 and 30. So 30 plus 0 is equal to 2Sn by delta t plus On plus 1 is the formula. Guys, here to then using the curve provided outflow can be determined. In this case, since 2Sn by delta t plus On plus 1 is equal to 30, outflow is equal to 5 based on the graph provided. Curve for modified pulse example outflow. To obtain the final column 2Sn by delta t minus On, 2 times the outflow is subtracted from 2Sn by delta t plus On plus 1. In this example, 30 minus 2 into 5 is equal to 20. Time hours. Guys, here the modified pulses example. To obtain the final column 2Sn by delta t minus On, 2 times the outflow is subtracted from 2Sn by delta t plus On plus 1. In this example, 30 by 30 minus 2 into 5 is equal to 20. Here, time hour 0 in In is equal to CFS 0, In plus 1 30, 2Sn by t minus On CFS 0, and second and 2Sn and 1 O n plus 1 is 0 0. In time 1 hour 30, 90, 20, 35. In time second hour 60 and 150. In third hour 90 and 210. In fourth hour 120 and 270. In fifth hour 150 plus 330. In sixth hour 180 plus 350. In seventh hour 135 plus 225. In eighth hour 90 plus 190 and 135. In ninth hour 45 plus 45. 10th hour, 11th hour, 12th hour, the values is 0. So guys, the same steps are repeated for the next line. First 90 plus 20 is equal to 110. From the graph, 110 equals an outflow values of 18. Finally, 1110 minus 2 into 18, that is equal to 17 for 74. Here guys, 0 hours, 0 and 30, 0, 0, 0. In 1 hour, 30, 90, 20, 30 and 5. In second hour, 60, 150, 74, 110 and 18. In third hour, 90 and 210. In fourth hour, 120 and 270. Fifth hour 150 and 330. Sixth hour 180 plus and 350. In seventh hour 135 and 225. In eighth hour 90 plus 135. In ninth hour 45 plus 45 and 45. But in 10th hour, 11th hour, 12th hour indicates the 0. So guys, here this process can be repeated for the rest of the columns. Now a list of the outflow values have been calculated and the problem is complete. So in 1 hour, 30, 90, 20, 35. In second hour, 60, 150, 74, 1110, and 18. In third hour, 90, 210, 160, 224, and 32. In fourth hour, 120, 270, 284, 370, and 43. In fifth hour, 150, 330, 450, 554, and 52. In sixth hour, 180, 315 CFS, 6664 CFS, and 780 CFS, and 58 CFS. In seventh hour, 135, 225, 853, 979, and 63. In eighth hour, 90, 135, 948, 1078, and 65. In ninth hour, 45, 45, 953, 1085, and 65. Here 10th hour, 0, 0, 870, 998, and 64. In 11th hour, 0, 0, 746, 870, and 62. In 12th hour, 0, 0, 630, 746 CFS, and 58 CFS. So, Goodrich method. So, I1 plus I2 plus 2S1 by delta T minus Q1, that is equal to 2S2 by delta T plus Qt. In the above equation, the starting inflow and the end inflow at the time period delta T is known as, read it from the inflow hydrograph, and the initial storage and discharge is also known. Then estimate the value, both are unknown quantities, 2S2 by delta T plus Qt. Remember, to know the discharge, we need a graph between elevation Vs by 2s by delta T plus Q, thus called as semi-graphical method. This quantity is called storage elevation discharge data. The graph gives the relationship between discharge and elevation. From graph estimate the elevation, from elevation estimate the discharge. So guys, here route the following flood hydrograph through the reservoir by a Goodrich method inflow hydrograph. So time is a H and inflow meters cube per second is equal to 0, 10. Time is the 0, inflow 10, 10 meters square per second, 630, 12, 85, 18, 140, 24, 125, 30, 96, 36, 75, 42, 60, 48, 46, 54, 35, 60, 25, and time in 66 hours, inflow 20 meters cube per second. So the storage elevation discharge data is as follows. The elevation 100, storage 10 power 6 meters cube 3.350, outflow discharge 0. Here elevation 100.50, storage 3.472, outflow discharge is 10. So 101, 3.880, 26, 101.50, 4.383, and 46. Here the elevation we have to increase the half meter here, and 102, 115 and 101.50, 4.383, 46, 102, 4.882, 72, 102.50, 5.370, 100, 102.75, 5.527, 116, 103, 5.856, and 130. The initial conditions are when t is equal to 0, the reservoir elevation is 100 by 100.6.0 meters. So construct the storage elevation discharge curve. Construct the storage elevation discharge curve. Assume a time period of 6 hour delta T equal to time of discharge. Measurement in the inflow hydrograph. Estimate the values of. Here plot a graph, elevation versus discharge in elevation versus for initial time period t is equal to 0, find the Q2 and from the graph. Here elevation, storage and outflow and meters cube. Here guys, reservoir water level elevation meters, storage discharge cubic meters per second. Here storage discharge versus elevation. And again outflow also is there, cubic meters per second. This is the this is the time meter square and elevation and discharge. So this is the storage discharge cubic meters per second, reservoir water level elevation meters taking on the y-axis, storage discharge cubic meters per second is taking on the x-axis. Here the values is 100. From reservoir water level elevation, we are increasing step by step like 0.5 meters to 100, 105, 100 and 100.5, 101, 101.5, 102, 102.5 and 103. Here storage discharge cubic 300, 350, 400, 450, 500, 550, 600, 650, 700 is increased 50 to 50 cubic meters per second. This is also table we take. So this is also storage discharge cubic meters per second, reservoir water elevation and outflow. So what we achieved through this flood routing, the peak discharge magnitude is reduced. This is called attenuation. The peak of outflow gets shifted and is called as log. The difference in rising limb shows the reservoir is storing the water. The difference in receding limb shows the reservoir is depleted. When the outflow is through uncontrolled spillway, the peak of outflow always occurs at point of inflection of inflow hydrograph and also is the point at which the inflow and outflow hydrograph intersect. So guys, now we completed the unit 4. Again I will repeat it. It's in chapter 4 flats what we discussed, causes and effects, frequency analysis, Gumbels and Long Pearson type 3 distribution methods, standard project flood SPF, and a probable maximum flood MPF, flood control methods and management, and today especially flood routing, hydrologic routing, channel and reservoir routing, and Muskingum and pulse method of routing we discussed. So successfully we completed the unit 4. So tomorrow we entering into the unit 5. Thank you guys.